Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for HBAR. Now in this video I'm going to go from the daily time frames down to the 1 hour time frame, showing you my primary counts as well as some alternatives. Now, since the start of our trend at 0.914 of a penny, have this as wave 1 and 2, 1, 2 of a lesser degree than this wave 1 and 2, and potentially another 1 and a 2 before our massive third wave to the upside. Now, it's important to note that if this is labeled correctly, the third wave should be the most volume of this entire trend and the fastest moving wave price-wise in the shortest amount of time. So that's our indication that we are on the right track. Now, I got some blowback last time. Just to be clear, if this plays out and we get some substantial volume, $28 eventually is in the cards. All I'm saying is it's in the cards. That's taking a 1.618 extension on log scale from wave 1 and 2. And with my previous history in alt seasons, if we get a true alt season, usually we run off log scale when that happens. So just saying that's in the cards. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's in the cards. All right. A more realistic target would be, for that same third wave that was targeting $28, would be 95 cents, that 1.61 extension of wave 1 off of wave 2. And then finally our fifth wave up around 116 and 130. But if these are 1-2-1-2s nested, we expect much higher targets than that. So just want to be clear that these things change quickly based on price action. Now there is also a scenario where this can be wave 3 in the blue. And then we get a wave 5 just up to the 1.618 at around 58 cents. And this would create a 1 and a 2 in itself. So rather than getting 3 nested 1-2s, this would create a 1-2-1-2. So that's my alternative count if we happen to make a new high and then reverse very quickly. Now, if that happens, I actually expect this correction to extend out in time, as our wave 4s tend to be longer than our wave 2s, especially if this is in the blue labeling. So if we come and overlap this wave 1, then that is no longer valid as a wave 4, but until we do, it is still valid as a potential option. Okay, so going off my primary count, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What is our expectation? So I'm going to go over to Blowfin, as that's where my smaller time frames are. All right, so I'm over on Blowfin on the 1 hour chart. And as of right now, off that third 1-2, have this as labeled as 1 and 2, 3, triangle fourth with an extended fifth wave. As for measurements, length of wave 5 taken from the beginning of wave 1 through 3 off of wave 4 hit just above the 618 extension. I think we're really close to a 1-to-1. Yeah, right in between. And we had a extended third wave as well. So a lot of extensions going on here, but I'm focused on this smaller time frame correction to figure out when the next potential buying spot is for a larger third wave, that big explosive wave we're looking for. So I have a few different options to present to you, and we will not know which one is going to play out until it does. Okay, so first is the most bullish. It is my least probable currently, and that is that we bottom in a wave 2 in a very short amount of time. And these are extending sideways as a diagonal wave 1 with a flat wave 2. And we have another 1-2, and we're nesting in 1-2s here, and we're absolutely going to explode. Seems unlikely, but it is valid until we come below 28,461 for the nested 1-2s. So that is my most bullish scenario, least probable. Next one is if we come lower here, which I would like to happen. we'd be working on linear scale and come down right at the 50%, between the 50 and the 618 of the entire five-wave move to the downside. But it is important to note that in very bullish markets, we tend to get very shy retracements. This would be basically a 236. Between the 236 and the 382 if we get this move to the downside. And how this labeling is, it's very complex. We have an A wave. I'm just going to simplify it for you. Let me take off this bull count. Okay. Simplify things for you by spreading them up. We have an A wave as a three-wave move. We have a WXY for our X wave, and all we're looking for is a simple zigzag. We have a diagonal to the downside, a three-wave move up that came to the 786 of this move to the downside, and looking for five waves to complete. Just a simple zigzag, ABC. And Y equals W at 20.123. But it's important to note that would be an extension. Usually we look for the 1-to-1 for C equaling A, which would not make a new low below W. So any time we drop below this W wave, if we make a five-wave move as a zigzag, we can be considered complete as soon as we break below. I also have the 1.382 extension, which is about the minimum we'd want to get there, and the 1.618 of this A wave for the C wave. You can see we've got our little zone here that we're looking for this scenario. But it's a very simple structure once you break it up. It's just a W, X, Y, 3, 3, 3. Very simple. And finally, this is my bullish scenario short term. This would be very bullish for the market. Get rid of that trade setup. So when we are getting alt seasons, we tend to get this pattern as a default. This is what I look for. But it hasn't been confirmed that we're in alt season yet. I'm just making that clear that I look for this pattern when I am very biased towards an alt season. And what that is just a running flat. 335, except it makes a higher B wave, and usually the C wave protects the A wave. And all that is a wave in our three-wave move. We then have a zigzag for our B wave. It looks like this. A. We get a triangle B, A, B, C, D, E, which is complete or needs another move to the downside. And then we target a 1-to-1 extension to the upside for our C wave. And what we will note here, one second, sorry, I didn't have that on the chart. I lost it, but I put on our B zone here, which is between the 1.236 and 382 for our B wave within a flat. Minimum requirement is just that 90% retracement of this A wave to the downside. All you do is put on your retracement tool of this A wave and make sure you have the 1.236, 382, and 1.618 and the 90% clicked. You know the minimum requirement is 90%. Our zone we usually hit on these running flats is 1.236 and 382. So after this A, B, we'd be looking for five waves down for a C. It can either protect the A wave, in which case it's a running flat, or it can make five waves and come below. That's called a expanded flat. And in both scenarios, the next move is to the upside. If we make a running flat, it's a very bullish correction to the upside before a third wave. So that is the hope. So as you can see, it looks very complex, but we have just a few paths. We're looking for the extreme bullish scenario, or the WXY, where we come and turn this into a zigzag, or this looks very complex, but it's just a 335, and we'd expect further upside. So I'll give you one little tidbit if you choose to trade this. Right now, we just have either a diagonal or a WXY. So E wave can technically be complete within this triangle. Sometimes we undershoot it, which means we don't break below the trend line. Sometimes we overshoot it. It's important to note that the invalidation is the C wave here. So when you think about trading this, what I usually do not financial advice, is I'll take a break above the D wave and stop at the E wave. So I'll wait for the market to come to me. So that would be if we took off right now and made an undershoot. Now, if we get this move to the downside and then we recover, well, then I'll usually take the B wave break within that ABC and the E wave, targeting that 1-to-1. So whatever happens, whatever happens with the price action adjusts how I take this trade setup. And we'll note that in the bearish scenario, that if I wait for price action to break this B wave, it switches probabilities that we are completed that triangle, because in the bearish scenario, we expect to come down for a third wave. So it would invalidate a 1-2-1-2 setup if we come and break that level. So yes, that's it for HBAR. If you are interested in the Discord, I update multiple times a week, lots of market updates, videos, Bitcoin, everything you can imagine. And also there is a Blowfin exclusive to the members where you get 20% rebate for life directly deposited into your account as you trade. And there is also a 15% futures bonus if you trade futures till January 7th. Link is in the description. You can check that out. And if you're a YouTube subscriber, you don't want to join the Discord, you also get 5% rebate for life. That's just an exclusive for the members. So you can check out the membership if you like. I also do requests on the weekend. All right, so check that out if you're interested, and I'll see you in the next one.